All right, Simone Biles finished off her Olympic redemption tour with 3 gold medals and a silver, cementing her place in history as the GOAT. But as for what's to come, Simone does not want to talk about it. She wrote on X that she wants people to stop asking athletes what's next and let them soak up the moment instead. What do we think? Is that a fair ask?
Right?
I totally get it. I totally get it. But this, I don't think at least for me as a fan watching her, I don't think it's as much about her as it is about us. Isn't that why we love sports? We love that these athletes who are superhuman take us on a journey. And quite frankly, I just don't want that journey to end. So while I get what she is saying, as a fan, I want to continue to know what else is Simone going to do. She is superhuman, let's call it. And I don't want to see her stop. And because she's achieved so much at just 27, stuff that other athletes would have said, you know, I'm going to call it a career. We love her so much that I think it's coming from a good place that people don't want to see her journey end. I get it. Listen, let her stop and smell the roses. The girl has just busted herself up for those medals. Give her a beat, but it's actually, I think, about us more than it is about her.
I think it's a time and place thing. Maybe let her enjoy it and then maybe ask her in a couple of weeks, when she's calmed down off the podium, relaxed a little bit. We can see what she's up to next. This question does bother me sometimes. I got married 2 years ago. Before we got married, it was, when are you getting married? Then you get married and it's, when are you having kids? You got a promotion, when's the next promotion? Let people just enjoy where they're at. But goal setting is good, right? Goal setting is good, and I do like to think about the future as well. So I think it comes from a good place, as you said.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's also a call to action for journalists to be better and ask better and smarter questions. Because I'll be very honest with you, I'm gonna call myself out there. I've interviewed a lot of Olympians, and it's always the last question we ask before we say goodbye to them, which is like, so what's next? And it's like a knee-jerk question that we all ask, and I think Simone is waking us all up that we need to do our research and we need to be more sensitive, because a lot of athletes, honestly, they don't know what they're gonna do, because your career is dependent if you get a medal. If you don't get a medal, you don't know what you're gonna do next. And even if you, so you're not quite sure. And also, I don't know if you guys have seen the documentary that 23-time Olympic medalist Michael Phelps produced called The Weight of Gold. And he talked about the post-Olympic depression that a lot of athletes go through, where it's like you work really, really hard for 4 years and you have this moment, you're on this high, and then afterwards everybody goes home and you're just left with like, you're not sure what to do with yourself, and you gotta wait another 4 years to have a chance to do it again. And in doing that research, I'm like, yeah, there has to be a different way to frame it. I understand why people ask that question, because we are excited, but journalists, we've got to do a better job at asking smarter questions.
I feel like journalists do it to not just Olympians, we do it to directors, to actors, to politicians, what's next? And I've probably done it, but I hope I will never do it again, because I personally hate the question.
Why?
When people, what's next? I don't know.
Yeah, they don't know.
Like, what's next? Like, you know, TV has a shelf life shows. We're very lucky that we're going into our 12th season.
What?
But when people, it's a beautiful thing to be proud of, but when people say like, so, you know, nothing lasts forever, like what would you do? What are you gonna do next? I'm like, oh God, I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys like when you get asked that? Like, what's the plan?
I'm guilty of having asked that question many times, because I think in a way it provides the person the platform to tell us what they want us to know. So maybe the way of phrasing it, and the person can take it how they want, is, what would you like the audience to know? What do you want people at home to know? Rather than they could take it as, this is what I'm going to do next. Or they could say, I want them to know I'm exhausted and I'm gonna kiss this medal and go home to have a nap.
Smarter question.
It's true. No, I think it is a fair question. I think, you know, Neil Pasricha, who's a great author, The Happiness Equation, he's been on our show many times, and he writes at length about like what is happiness. And it's not about climbing the mountain and then not appreciating the view because you're already looking at what's the next mountain, because then you just miss the view that you just worked so hard for. So personally, I grapple with that, but I'm also an ambitious person, and I like to keep myself motivated to the next. I do think we're probably all guilty of not stopping to smell the roses and enjoy the view for a second. So I think a balance is nice. And I want people to keep asking me, because if you are asking me that, you want to see more of us.
Absolutely.
Yes, good too. That's for you. Yeah, right? So, you know, ask us.
Don't ask us.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.